I just wanted to yap a little bit about doing things imperfectly and allowing yourself to do things imperfectly. So, this is week 3 of me trying to post something on YouTube, at least once every week. And I'm already a bit late to it. It's already been it's already been like 7 or 8 days since I posted my last video. I came to realize that once I posted those first 2 videos, in the second video that I posted, I felt more comfortable speaking on camera and all of that because it was recorded not too long after the first video. And I still had sort of like my goals injected into my head, if that makes sense. So I was like very conscious about it still. And there's so many, I'm so sorry, there's so many background noises. And then this week I started noticing myself get sort of like in that, sort of like getting myself stuck and thinking, okay, what do I do next? There's things that I know that I want to talk about, but because I don't feel 100% ready for them, I kind of hold them off. And literally like 5 minutes ago, I was just like doom scrolling, which is one of the things that I told myself that I would stop doing this year. So I gotta spend less time doom scrolling, because that's one of my goals. And yeah, and I came across this reel. I'm gonna try to include the creator's thing, but it was this girl talking about how sometimes we have this thing that we really want to do, but instead of making it real and putting it into action, we sort of want to keep it stuck in our heads, because in our heads they're perfect, and making them real, putting them out there like in the physical world is like a risk, because it means that you have to be vulnerable, you have to I feel like I've said vulnerable so many times in just these like 3 videos, these last 3 videos. Yeah, basically like making that thing real is kind of risking being seen in an unprepared state, if that makes sense. So like in the video, she was talking about how sometimes we get ourselves stuck because there's this thing that we really want to do, or that we really want to create or want to try it out, but we sort of do a little bit of self-sabotage by being so attached to the way that it looks in our heads, because in our heads it can be perfect and we're attached to the outcome. Yeah, that's what she was talking about. She was talking about like the fact that you're so focused on the outcome and you set really high standards for yourself to reach that outcome, when in reality you just need to allow yourself to do that thing while being present. And when you're present, you're not forcing the way that things look, you're not forcing the way that things sound, you're not forcing how they go, you're letting it flow. And letting things flow is how we are meant to be naturally, like in our natural state. And yeah, and that kind of got me thinking, because this entire week, so it's Thursday now, and this entire week I've been like, okay, I told myself I was going to try to do weekly posts to get myself, like, not even for a specific goal, it's just like to get myself not so afraid to try things that make me uncomfortable. And the whole week I was like, okay, but what do? I need to think of something fun, I need to think of something this, and something like that, I need to do this, and I need to do that, and it's like, just chill out, bro. Literally, please, just chill out and enjoy the journey, enjoy the ride. Think of, do things because they're fun. Do things because they help you be, like, right here, right now, with your feet on the ground, and you're conscious of them, and you feel them, Like, let yourself be in the present moment. But that's the thing. Allowing yourself to be present and to take that risk with something that you care about also means that you have to let yourself do the thing that you really want to do imperfectly. So yeah, and that's the thing. And there's so many things in my life where that applies so heavily. But it goes for uni, for example. Like, at uni, I'm constantly trying new things, and I'm constantly, having new ideas that I want to give a shot. Finding new ways to expand myself. But then when I go to start the task, I get really scared, because one thing is doing it privately. You don't mind doing things privately and sucking at it privately. But when it comes to showing to other people, or like being seen imperfectly, That's like the biggest nightmare. And we just need to let go of that. So, and the best way to let go is to familiarize yourself and familiarize your nervous system with the feeling of being uncomfortable doing something that you do care about, but you're afraid it's either cringe, or you're afraid like that it's going to be seen by others, or it's going to be judged, or blah, 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 whatever. Let yourself do the uncomfortable thing. Like, one of the things with these videos is that I feel like I start off with a pretty clear topic in my mind. What? I start off with such a clear message in my head that I want to talk about. Even if I don't know exactly what I'm going to say for the rest of the video, like, I still have a point that I want to make. And then the longer I record and the more I talk, the more I'm like, okay, well, now I'm just going off on these different tangents. But that's the thing. You have to let yourself do that. For me, that's part of the challenge, and that's part of the journey of making more videos, because it's something that I, like, as much as I try to avoid it, it's something that I know I want to do, just to challenge myself in that way. This is probably there's probably so many people who do the same, but it's kind of when you're having conversations with yourself, you're in private, it's just you and a mirror, or not even a mirror, and you're talking as if you were talking to a camera, you're talking as if you were talking to an audience, but because it's not actually there, you can allow yourself to be perfect in your head. And that's why we put those high standards on our own shoulders, to be like, okay, if I'm actually gonna do this, I need to do everything perfectly. You don't. You really don't. You're not gonna have any experience on the thing that you want to do if you don't let yourself suck at it first. You have to suck at it in order to become experienced and to know what you're doing. Because until you get that experience from that failure, like, you're not going to be able to know what you're doing. So you need to suck. You just need to suck first, but keep on trying, you know? God, such a, like, I feel like so, like, those motivational videos, and it's like, that's not even what I'm trying to do. I'm just, like, sharing my thoughts on things that, you know, I see, that I hear, and make sense to me, and I want to talk about them because it's what I do in private, it's what I do in a mirror. I talk about these things to myself as if I were speaking to a camera, meaning I should just say fuck it and do it in front of a camera anyway. So, like, what I'm trying to say is, even if nobody watches these videos and I'm the only one seeing them, just the fact that I'm getting myself into the practice of like, at least making and posting videos once every week, if I do that for a whole year, it's inevitable that later down the line I become naturally more confident at speaking to a camera and posting things online. That's what I'm trying to get at. Like, if you think about it, you have to let yourself suck at the thing and fail, and you have to let yourself make the mistakes and, like, make the wrong moves so that you can learn from them and discover by yourself and through your own experience what the right moves are meant to be. Does that make sense? Are we connecting? And it reminds me of another reel that I saw where it was saying, like, if you were a certain amount of failures away from succeeding, so if you were like 10 failures away from finally reaching your goal, how much would you want to fail? You try to fail, like, at everything now. You try to make all of the mistakes now so that you can actually get to the success. And I think there's some sense in that, is what I'm trying to say. Also, I'd say, like, I'm quite a hopeful person. So whenever I hear about stuff like this or think about this, I also think about the, the more optimistic outcome, where it's, okay, well, maybe it's not going to go in the ideal way that I've created in my head, but maybe by allowing it to flow, it can actually turn out 10 times better, and, like, in a way that I never would have even been able to imagine, you know? And that can be something really positive, and it can be something that helps you, like, keep going. So yeah, I think that the general message that I really want to pin down with this video is that you need to detach from that idea of perfection in your head. In a way it shows that you care, but also it's the very same pattern that's keeping you stuck and preventing you from actually making the thing that you want real. And then with that is also like the fact that you need to allow yourself to fail in the things that you're doing so that you can achieve the successful outcome. So yeah, that's it. See ya.